And this is it. This is the final race of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship. But don't be sad. We still got a lot of racing going on as Mrs. Steffi Haum will take place here in the first row. So we're directly on the grid again, as we've been all season covering this program for you, thanks to the ETRA. And we do see the last race preparations going on. So this is quite a huge moment for everyone. The sun is shining, we're in a good mood. But yes, with a little tear maybe in the eye that this season will come to an end. But ahead of that, we're going to see a lot of overtaking. We've got the reverse grid, of course, going on. We already crowned our champions, which is Norbert Kisch, our European champion, and Shane Brereton, the winner of the Goodyear Cup. But behind that, the leader of the pack is yet to be decided. So we see René Reinert here right now taking his position. And thanks to our commentators, Chaz Dreikert and Joachim Eberts, you've done a great job. I would say this ahead of race number 4, but I know you've got a lot of work to do.
Yes, indeed. Plenty of work to do, plenty of fun for the drivers to have out there on track. Yes, for the final time this year, everybody. Hello, my name is Chaz Dreikert, and I am delighted to have spent this season with the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. One more race to go, one more race to get things rounded out. And as Christina rightly pointed out there, we have our champions. So we have one more race for everybody just to enjoy themselves, to be honest. And Steffi Haum will try and enjoy herself from the front row of the grid. Pole position for Steffi after finishing in 8th position in that last race. The reverse grid puts her right at the very front. Joining her on the front row will be René Reinert. And look at this, a lap of honour for Norbert Kisch, with the Hungarian flag. That's a really nice gesture to see. He has been crowned as the overall champion, so he gets to do this lap in honour. And Ryan Smith making his way round to the grid as well. To be fair, I think it's just Norby making his way around to the grid with a Hungarian flag. I don't think it's a specific lap of honour, actually. Now, there is a bit of damage down the side of, I believe, is that René Reiner's machine, which has taken a good old whack in the side. But there's a few scarred trucks out there for this race. Now, I'm intrigued here because, as far as I knew, Steffi Haum finished the last race in 9th place. And the reverse grid is usually 8. So somebody somewhere might have had a telling off. And we go to Christina, who has Steffi Haum with her.
Yes, and I want to explain the situation because Janiak, he said something on the truck during Park for May, and this is because this is why he's set back right now. So we've got Steffi Haum here. Hello, from pole position. What a surprise, to be honest. When did you get to notice that you might drive up to the front?
I just got the information when we were on the out lap for the grid. So one of the team mechanics said, "Hey, we have pole position." And I said, "Why?" And he said, "I don't know, but we have pole." So it's great. It's a big surprise, yes.
Absolutely, and a new chance for you. I know the mindset is already there. You know what to do on the racetrack, but this is a kind of a different situation. Do you need to prepare yourself new?
No, because you always prepare yourself for the race. So you start to concentrate before you go in the track. And now the situation is a little bit much more comfortable than from 9th position, because hopefully or normally you don't have so much trouble in the first corners. So I just concentrate like always to make a good start, but it doesn't matter if you start from pole position or from 9th or 10th position. You need always to have a good start, and this is all I think about at the moment, and we will see if it works.
Okay. Good luck. Thank you very much. So this is the explanation of the situation. Janiek sat back. Steffi Harm ranked the tableau will stay the same, I heard. So she will stay in the 9th position because the race sheet is already printed, as we might say. But yeah, for race 2, the reverse grid, completely new situation. So that's a great start for Steffi Harm.
Yes, indeed. Very interesting scenario right now for Steffi. It's a real shame what happened for Janiek, but at the end of the day, the rules are the rules, and they have been, I imagine, put to the back of the grid for this one. So René Reiner, who to be fair would have been on pole position, has actually lost out on one spot because of that. So it's not like it's only affected Anthony Janiek. It's an interesting development in itself. There is Sascha Lenz's machine. Sascha having a very busy weekend, as most of the teams are, but Sascha was working incredibly hard in that race to try and get past Lucas Hahn, who I did go to see after the race with Jochen. They were both in fantastically high spirits, both really pleased. Jochen very proud of what Lucas has achieved. But here's a good look, probably for the final time this season, of the massive engines in these trucks, the MAN Common Rail with the humongous turbochargers, the Ad Secure branding on the back of Sascha Lenz's machine. There's a lot of real estate on these trucks for you to put logos and all sorts onto. So they are humongous 100-mile-an-hour billboards, these trucks. But just to show you really how tough these things are there, you see the bumper bars, you see how thick the wheels and the tyres are as well. And Stefan Faas, who's had a Goodyear Cup Podium this weekend, is now speaking to Christina.
Yes, after Goodyear Cup Podium and ranked 3rd in the Goodyear Cup overall standings, of course. But I think no chance to the front and neither to the back. Just finishing this race, that's the task.
Ja, also momentan ist so, wir sind froh jetzt über die letzte Podiumplatzierung und hoffen uns jetzt noch ein gutes letztes Rennen und hoffen, dass wir den Platz halten können. Aber so wie es aussieht, müsste das gut funktionieren. Ja, ich freue mich jetzt aufs letzte Rennen und wir geben alles.
So he said, yes, we were happy really about the last podium. And of course, we want to secure a position during this race. And he's really looking forward and he will enjoy this last race of this season. And we will too, I'm absolutely sure, Jess.
Yeah, it's an interesting time to close the curtain on a championship. We've got a lot of drivers that feel like they've maybe got a bit of unfinished business this season. But still, we have one more tour to go before this gets done. There is potential that we could have our season opener here next year, but that is just potential for now. Do not take that as gospel. It's always developing race calendars and changing event dates and all sorts through these COVID-related times. As you're probably all aware, this season has been moved around and dates changed and circuits changed, even events cancelled, of course, with the terrible flooding that took place in Germany and Belgium earlier in the year, cancelled our Nürburgring round of the championship. But mechanics and teams all working just as hard as they ever have into this final one. And Jamie Anderson is a man that needs to work hard in this final race, isn't he, Christina?
Yes, he needs to work hard, as our commentator said. What is your plan for working hard?
It's going to be pretty much the same as race 2 yesterday. You know, we're going to have a big push. We had a little slight problem in the first race this morning, you know, but we did it yesterday, so there's no reason why we can't do it today.
Any special thoughts ahead of the last race of the season? I'm me losing the microphone again.
It's a make or break situation. We have nothing to lose, nothing really to gain, so just try and put a show on for the crowds and for us finish the season on a high. So whether that means we can get up to the middle of the field, you know, for us and especially the guys that worked really hard, the team this year, you know, it would only be good to do that.
Thank you very much, and thanks a lot to our supporters. Maybe we can show that he's holding the net back. Isn't that nice? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fantastic camaraderie in the paddock and even on the grid. But yes, Jamie Anderson has some work to do from further down the grid. We saw him come up from 14th place to 6th yesterday. Does this mean now starting 13th that we're going to see him get a top 5? You never know. There's some of the inner workings underneath the bodywork of his truck. Obviously the front left missing as well. They just think, well, there's no point getting the extra bodywork out there. They may as well just send it out as is. They haven't had long to turn it around. That's a Goodyear logo, I promise. They haven't had long to turn it around from the previous race. So to be fair, I think we're just going to see a lot of rather second-hand looking trucks right now, but it'll show you just how little the bodywork gets affected by, how much the performance gets affected by the bodywork itself. Now, for the final time this season, we see our official truck, the Ford F-Max 2019 International Truck of the Year. It's going to be a long, long winter without me seeing this thing on my screens, I tell you that much for free. The Ford F-Max, developed and tested by over 500 engineers, 5 years at least put into this machine, with over 11 countries that it was tested in, over 4 continents, over 200 prototype units. And between them, they did over 15,000 hours of lab testing, if I say it right, and over 5 million kilometers. It's a good looking machine. The metallic blue as well, absolutely stunning. If you do get to any of our FIA European Truck Racing Championship race meetings, or have done this year, you'll have seen this magnificent beast in all of its glory, I'm sure. It looks good on the screen, but boy, does it look even better in person, I must admit. But you'll see, even with our very accomplished pace truck and official truck drivers, these things really move around when they go through corners. It's great to watch, great to ride on board with. I was very, very lucky and very privileged to ride on board on Friday and do some sunset filming with the Iveco alongside us here at Misano. And they have a number of officials and VIPs and so on that have ridden shotgun, so to speak, this season. But it's the last official lap of the year for our Ford F-Max, and I hope you'll all join me in at least appreciating this fantastic machine, and Ford for providing it and being a great partner to the European Truck Racing Championship. It's currently 3 o'clock local time, so the sun nowhere near as low as it was yesterday. It was a real talking point, at least from my side, with how the driver's visibility was affected throughout the race. But into the final couple of corners now comes our F-Max. And that will be job done. And the next big blue beauty to leave the grid, just ahead of René Rander's truck, will be our Iveco S-Way pace truck. Of course, as you see there, all of our trucks in the racing are powered by 100% renewable HVO diesel. So it's all green, clean fun. The championship making incredible strides forward to reduce emissions and try and go carbon neutral by 2038 at the latest. The series has a fantastic commitment to making sure that happens, and it is a real pleasure to be a part of it and see all the fantastic technological developments and all of the ideas that go into making these trucks as clean as possible. I was talking with some of the officials earlier on, or at least members of the paddock anyway, that were speaking about the fact that, you know, diesel racing, the diesels are known as dirty diesels in pretty much any country you go to, anywhere around the world. But the fact that diesels and the truck racing championship especially, some of the biggest racing machines, if not the biggest racing machines you'll see, are the ones leading the way in making things nice and clean. It's really awesome to see, really awesome. So for the last time, our Iveco pace truck leads us away, and our pace truck driver Frank will be, I'm sure, enjoying his final lap of the season. On board now with Norbert Kish. Right in the middle of the pack here is Norby, but it's certainly going to be an entertaining finale for him, racing alongside Jochen Hahn. They've got Lucas Hahn and Antonio Albacete just in front of them. Watch out for Adam Lachko in this race, because he starts third on the grid here. He's one of my favourites for this race win, I think. Steffi Halm, we've seen how great she can be defensive-wise. Same with René Reiner. René has been bashed around all over the circuit all year. Unfortunately, he's had some rotten luck, so it'd be great to see him finally turn that around and get a very strong result, maybe even stick it on the podium and stay up there. We will have to see. Lucas Hahn is the highest placed driver in the Goodyear Cup. Next up behind him is Shane Brayton, then Stefan Faas, Alia Kolok, and Jamie Anderson and Teo Calve, making 6 Goodyear Cup drivers through each of the races this weekend. You can probably hear some of the horns in the background, which are being sounded by the show trucks over at the far side of the circuit. There's some amazing trucks over there. If you've never been to a truck show or even seen show trucks in person, then I urge you to go and see them. They are incredible bits of kit. Whether you're into your trucking or you're not, you know, if you're here to see what truck racing is all about and see whether we can convert you and give you the bug, trust me, you will get it eventually. It is so amazing to watch these machines and feel and see the community behind these Goliaths that we have on our roads. It's a wonderful place to be. So here, quickly, is your grid, or how it would have lined up. René Reiner would have been on pole position, but he gets put down to second as Steffi Halm takes pole. Janiak is put to the back of the grid. It's then Lachko and Lenz on row 2, Lucas Hahn and Antonio Albacete on row 3, Jochen Hahn alongside Norbert Kish on row 4. Steffi Halm is put to the front of the grid, so Shane Brayton goes into 9th, and Stefan Faas makes up the top 10. Very last minute for Janiak to be put to the back of the grid. It'll be frustrating, for sure. A very frustrating situation for him, with the potential of starting right near the front of the grid. It could have meant some very good points. Don't forget, reduced points in the second race of the weekend, so the top 10 just get 10 points for a win, and then it's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So not many point differences to be determined here, but one of the main ones is Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. They both know exactly what they need to do. So do all the drivers out on track. So with a slight tear in my eye, as the bio-LNG powered Iveco S-Way makes its way into the pit lane, Steffi Halm leads the field around for the final race of the championship. In round 24 of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship gets underway, and they all roar their way down to turn 1 for the first time. Steffi Halm leads them, then Sascha Lenz has got ahead of René Reiner early on. Round the outside, that becomes the inside. Great start by Sascha. He wants to take another win this season. There's Shane Brayton getting a hit off Stefan Faas. Sideways he goes through turn 2. Stefan backs out of it. Ryan Smith's on his left-hand side. Now where is Adam Lachko in all of this? Oh no, Steffi's gone straight on. Steffi might have actually had a little bit of contact there with Lenz, although I think Lenz has got a clean bumper on the front, so I think Steffi's just outbroken herself. René Reiner now gets in front. Everybody trying to keep it clean. Stefan Faas goes off the circuit on the right-hand side at turn 6. But Lachko is now side by side with Steffi Halm, and it's Sascha Lenz from 4th on the grid. Right to the front early on, Lachko and Halm. Well, they had a fantastic battle to start the season at the Hungaroring. They're resuming that now. Steffi says, get out there, sunshine. And Adam's saying, not on your life. You've got to let me back on at some point. It's the last day of school. And it's not quite school's out for summer, school's out for winter. But Sascha Lenz, what a fantastic start for him. 3 race wins this season, 10 podium appearances. And he wants to add to that tally even more. You can see Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete both covering off the right-hand side of the circuit from Norbert Kish. Lachko and Halm right together now for third place. Steffi trying to do everything she can to hold on to that podium place. Lachko is latched on to the back of the Iveco. The Freightliner using its long nose to certainly get a sniff of third place. Lucas Hahn with a little bit of damage on the right rear of his truck. One of the wheel arches just hanging up slightly. He's right behind Norbert Kish right now. It all got very bunched up in turns 1 and 2, as you'd expect. But across the line to complete lap 1 we go. Lenz leads the way. A healthy gap back to Rennie Reiner. Then it's Steffi Halm, Adam Lachko. All over the back of her. Then it's Alberthetti, Hahn, Kish, Lucas Hahn, Shane Brayton up to 9th place. Stefan Faas in 10th. Ryan Smith in 12th, ahead of Theo Calve. Then it's Jamie Anderson, Alia Kolok, Andrei Kurzim, and Anthony Janiak did not actually cross the line. I thought he came into the pits at the start. He has not completed lap 1. Look at them all moving quickly one way, then the other. The weight transfer around turns 5 and 6 is incredible to see. Bodywork wriggling around all over the front of Adam Lachko's truck, almost like it's a living creature. It's currently living on the bumper bar of Steffi Halm's Iveco. Some of the penalty markers sent flying. Oh, there's a truck around. Oh, don't tell me that's Theo Calve. It is. Theo was already upset after the first race with some of the contact he received. Styles it out with a lovely drift, but he will be absolutely raging right now, will Theo. He's a lovely young man, but even the loveliest of people can get very angry, and I'm not surprised if he is right now. We'll have to maybe see whether that was picked up, the incident further back. But still, it's Lenz from Reiner, Hal, Lachko, Alberthetti and Jochen Hahn. Much like we saw yesterday in race 2, the whole field sticking together in one big train right now. This is what the reverse grid does. Some of the drivers that didn't quite have the pace to be right at the front of the field are put there in these reverse grid races, and it certainly keeps it nice and close. This is the view from Norbert Kish chasing down Jochen Hahn around the wonderful Misano circuit. Now here's a view from early on. Stefan Faas not really with anywhere to go. Doesn't want to turn in on Norbert Kish. And Shane Brayton thought he had a little bit more space down the inside. But he gets the job done and manages to save the truck around the outside. Alberthetti now potentially looking to try and overtake Lachko if he gets held up behind Steffi Halm any longer. But Steffi is standing her ground at the moment. It's Rennie Reiner just in front that she's trying to catch up with, but Sasha Lenz, he's gone for the moment, 2.5 seconds out in front. Ryan Smith has come into the pit lane, unfortunately. I think maybe he was involved in the contact with Theo Calve, because both of them having a slow middle sector. So maybe Ryan ruffling a few feathers at the end of the season. And it sounds to me, from where I am in the commentary box, near the end of the pit lane, it sounds to me like they might have even gone straight into the paddock. Either way, what we do know is that that's Sasha Lenz in the lead of the race. Rennie Reiner still second. Steffi Halm holding on to third place. Lachko, if anything, has gone down a position from where he started. Sasha Lenz, the one that's overtaken the original top 3. With that incredible jump at the start. Now Alberthetti has got to focus on 2 things at once now. He wants to catch Lachko, but at the same time, he's got Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kish crawling around behind him. They all power their way down the straight once again. This is now lap 4 of 12 in this race. And it's lap 4 for truck 44, defending from P4 at the moment. Lachko's had a good year, to be fair. He's had 11 podiums and a race win. No podiums here this weekend, though. His best results so far, if I just look through the results from this weekend, he was 5th in race 1. And then the same again in race 2, and he was 6th in race 3. So right now he is on for his best result of the weekend, but he knows he can be a little bit higher than that. He feels he's got the pace to overtake Steffi Halm at least, or even René Reiner, and go chasing Sascha Lenz. But Sascha way out in front now, 3.7 second lead, is side by side there in the middle of the pack. I believe that's Jochen Hahn and Norbert Kirsch. It is the 2 championship rivals going into this championship, or this season I should say. 2 of the very favourites continuing to fight with one another. Amazing to watch these machines streaking their way down through turns 11 and 12. The 2 right-hand kinks into turns 13, 14, the left-hander at 15. All in one big pile as they come into the last couple of corners. So far, Sascha Lenz streaking away out front. Let's see what the gap is. 4.3 seconds now, and it's another second back to Steffi Halm, who has this absolute train on the back, almost as if she's towing them round. Lachko, the man that needs to try and get through first, but at the moment he's under a lot of pressure from the guys behind as well. Alberthetti sitting in there in 5th place. It's a bit of a deadlock at the moment in terms of the pace. Nobody can quite find the room to get through. Nobody can quite dig the pace out. Norbert Kirsch looks quite happy to sit behind Jochen Hahn for now. He made his intentions clear a moment ago down the straight, but since then he's not really put his nose down the inside to make a move or anything. And again, he's all the way over to their left-hand side of the circuit, still nothing. But Lachko so close to the back of Steffi Halm right now. He's almost got one hand on the 3rd place trophy, it's that close. Here's the front view from Steffi. She's pushing hard to catch up with René Reiner, not focusing on her mirrors too much, I don't think. Focusing on the job at hand, which is moving forward in the field. But Lenz really impressive so far. 5.4 seconds to the good. Reiner hasn't disappeared from these guys though, even though they are having a little bit of a fight. Steffi isn't having to sort of overly proactively defend this. Still great fighting all the same. Let's see what the gap is now for Sascha Lenz. 5.5 seconds. He is on a mission right now. It looks amazing outside of my window, seeing this massive snake of trucks one by one pile their way into turn 1. Really is a sight to behold. Now, out wide is Adam Lachko, and through goes Alberthetti, through goes Jochen Hahn, through goes Norbert Kirsch. And I think there may have been some contact there because Steffi's truck showing a bit of damage on the right rear. Normally thinks this is an opportunity to catch Jochen Hahn off guard, but no, it's not. And I feel there's a truck to his inside as well. Is it Lachko? Yes, it is. Lachko side by side. Lachko back onto the circuit after running a little bit wide at turn 6. Oh no, massive, massive issue there for Stefan Fass. What on earth has gone on there? There's smoke everywhere. a piece of bodywork or something in the middle of the road. Wow, he's had a humongous hit in the side. That truck has been in the wars this year. But I would love to look back at what has gone on there for Stefan Faas. That's an absolute nightmare. He just got his Goodyear Cup Podium in the previous race, so it was looking up for him, and then suddenly it's gone to pot again. Hopefully he's okay. Seemed fine to carry on, but it can be quite a shaking moment when these trucks make contact, especially that heavy, to do that much damage. But I can see it, even the smoke, the massive plume of smoke making its way over the circuit now towards the pit straight. Might not be able to catch it too much from the cameras, it seems to be thinning out. But Sascha Lenz now leading by a humongous margin, 6.7 seconds. This is what he needs to definitely cement second in the championship. You can see a bit of the smoke still sort of lingering in the air there. René Reiner doing well to hold on to second place. Steffi Halm next up, then Antonio Albertetti, Jochen Hahn, Norbert Kirsch, Adam Lachko, Lucas Hahn in 8th, then it's Shane Brayton and Jamie Anderson is up to 10th place. Kolok is 11th, Stefan Faas is 12th, then it's Andre Kurzim. And Teo Calve has been into the pits after, I think the contact was with Ryan Smith, the two of them both out of the race. There is Jochen Hahn, a very in-depth look at Jochen Hahn's truck from on board with Norbert Kish. Now let's see if we can pick apart any tyre marks or anything out there. I think maybe Stefan might have gone off the road and bounced off the barrier, you know. Didn't look like there was any sort of justifying rubber marks in the middle of the road or anything. Still, the race goes on, especially for Sascha Lenz. Look at that. A long, long way ahead now. The gap goes up to 7.3 seconds. And now it's Albertetti's turn to try and overtake Steffi Halm. Norbert Kish still just behind Jochen Hahn, 6-time champion, showing the now 3-time champion how to defend. And here we go on board with Norby. Tries to get some sort of cut back into turn 13, but Jochen is really quick through there. Through the left at turn 15. You could see Norby wanted to try and chuck it in and get a good run, but just lights up the rears a little bit too much. 7 laps completed now. Sascha Lenz has already gone past my commentary box at the end of the straight. That's how far ahead he is. René Reiner goes past now, then it's Steffi Halm, Antonio Albertetti, Jochen Hahn, Norbert Kish. Adam Lachko has dropped back a bit here. Now we saw Lachko slowing at the start of the previous lap. I think there might have been contact with Steffi, but it seemed he continued to slow after that. I'm wondering whether there was anything happened between him and Stefan Faas. Because Stefan, as far as I can remember, was up there behind Lucas Hahn, but ahead of Shane Brayton. And Faas has carried on. So clearly the truck, just superficial damage, just the bodywork that's come off. Not really anything else. Norbert Kish looks down the inside of Jochen Hahn. Oh, it was good awareness by Jochen there to make sure that the gap was on the inside. Nice move from Norbert, but you know that Jochen won't take that lying down. They don't have to worry too much about the championship anymore. Although, to be fair, I think there was a bit of a push there from Jochen. Either that or a lock-up from Norbert. These two real titans of the championship. Never mind just being in a Titan class, these are real titans of this championship indeed. I think Jochen needs to think about the championship fight with Antonio, really. So maybe there is something to lose. Lucas Hahn all over the back of Adam Lachko. That's the 2017 champion. Adam Lachko under pressure for a relatively new boy, Lucas Hahn. Big footsteps to follow in the terms of his father, but still great to see him fighting. And Jochen is now back in front of Norby newly crowned champion back into 6th place. Shane Brereton and Jamie Anderson, 2 British drivers, having a bit of fun together there. Newly crowned Goodyear Cup champion, of course, Shane Brereton. Jamie Anderson into the top 10 after starting 13th. On to lap 9 we go. Only a handful of laps left this season. There's only a handful of front ends left for these Freightliners by the look of it, because Lachko's going to need another one. Then again, plenty of time between now and next season for everyone to prepare. Now, smoke coming from Stefan Fast's truck, that is. Or is it? Sorry, no, it's Shane Brereton. Apologies, I thought it was a little bit further back. But no, it's Shane Brereton. There's a lot of smoke coming out of his truck. Maybe just a tyre rubbing against the bodywork or something. Looks to be that sort of symptom. We see it that way quite a lot. But Jamie Anderson wants to take advantage of it. Back up the hill they go out of turn 8 up towards 9 and 10. Look at the lead that Sasha Lenz has got now. It's an absolutely humongous gap. And there was contact further back between Teo Calvé and Ryan Smith. That's why the two of them were off the road, or at least out of the race and into the pits. Steffi Halm still doing well to defend here from Antonio Albacete. Jochen Hahn is occupied holding off Norbert Kish, which means René Reiner up in 2nd place. He's not scored an overall podium this season, has René. He's 12th in the championship. 25 points coming into this race meeting anyway, that is. Down the straight we go again then. On to lap 10 out of 12. 3 laps to go in the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And what a season it's been, and we have this very exciting and rather jumbled up race order for the final race of the season. This is what we want. Mixed results all over the place. This is great. I do definitely think there was contact between Steffi Halm and Adam Lachko there. The two of them got very feisty at the Hungaroring as well, in what I believe was the final race of the weekend. Steffi defending very hard from the Czech previous champion. And now Antonio Albacete looking for a move. He sends it down the inside hard onto the brakes. Does he get it turned in time? I think there was a little bit of contact maybe. Steffi hanging it around the outside, hits one of the penalty markers. That now means that the drivers will not be able to see those for the rest of the race. Antonio turns in, there's a bit of contact. I think he was expecting a little bit more room there, but at the end of the day, Steffi still had to make the corner. The two of them very close together. Antonio almost off the road, has to move over to the right-hand side at some point. Jochen Hahn wants a piece of this as well in his Iveco. He's got a bit of damage on the front right of that truck that I didn't notice earlier on. Steffi now hanging Antonio out to dry as they come down towards turn 12. Hard onto the brakes to get it turned into turn 13. Jochen Hahn wants to work with Steffi here to go through down the inside. There's contact between Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete, the old boys as Jochen called them. Antonio tries a cutback on Steffi down the inside. This is the view from Norbert Kish. See whether he can pick up any details or any action that goes on. I'm sort of moving my head around, trying to look around Jochen Hahn's truck just to see what's going on. 10 laps in the book, an amazing 11.7 second lead for Sasha Lenz. Absolutely flying away at the front. René Reiner still holding true in 2nd place, and oh, there's a very, very smoky truck just gone past my commentary box here. It was one of the Bagheera trucks. And look at that, Steffi says, nope, Antonio, you are not coming through. And Jochen Hahn gets through now, or has he? No, I think what happened there to Jochen? Jochen went straight on. There is the issue with the Goodyear racing truck. Now that is the best smoke screen we've had all weekend. I think potentially that is Alia Kolok. Yeah, because Adam Lachko is still going there. Teo Calve is still in the pits, so that is Alia Kolok. And now Norbert Kish has managed to get past Jochen Hahn, and now he's getting past Antonio Albacete. Tries to run him out of road. Oh my goodness me, there was barely an overlap there. And now has Norby got down the inside of Steffi Halm? I think they've red flagged the race, have they? They've all suddenly slowed down a lot. Yeah, red flag is out. The red flag is out. I was going to say, I thought Steffi seemed to be leaving the door open for a second there. Yeah, we have a red flag. Now there is obviously the risk that whatever engine failure or failure there was there for Alia Kolok has put fluid down on the circuit. But quick thinking there by Alia Kolok to get the truck off the circuit and over to the right near a marshal's post. The fire crew's there as well, tending to the machine just to be on standby. Obviously with the temperatures that these trucks run at and the fluids and all sorts circulating through their systems, fire is always a risk in motorsport. But luckily, it looks like that is not the issue right now. You can see Alia over to the right-hand side of the shot, just taking her helmet off there behind the barriers. She'll be devastated to end her weekend like that. She's had a number of positions just outside of the top 10 this weekend. 2 11th place finishes yesterday, 12th place in race 3. Started from 11th on the grid. Just knocking on the door of the top 10 all weekend was Alia. She scored a couple of points this season before this race meeting, so she's had some top 10s to her name. It's really been a season of development for Alia. And I believe the trucks will make their way into the pit lane now. Either that or they will go back onto the start-finish straight, but that to me looks like they're going into the pits. That may be declared a result though, because there was only one more lap to go after that. So yeah, by the look of it, that has been declared a result. Sascha Lenz will take the race win. And that means René Reiner, his first podium of the season, is a second place. Awesome stuff for René. So that is Sascha Lenz's 4th race win of the season. And his 11th podium appearance. Steffi Halm back on the podium for her 5th time. And that is, well, as my wonderful colleague Barbara has just mentioned, that is one way to end the season. Unfortunately, the red flag, there's some of the penalty markers, there's bodywork and all sorts around the circuit. The championship certainly making its mark there. It's a real shame not to have the checkered flag waved for Sascha Lenz at the end there, but still, he will be classified as the race winner. Something that he'll be, to be fair, very pleased about after having to work so hard all weekend to chase Norbert Kish, and of course so hard this season. The SL Truck Sport driver declared the winner then, and a big kiss and a congratulations for Sascha Lenz. Big hugs all round, an awesome way to end their year. He's been such a potent driver in this championship as Sascha. And there you go, that's a big hug if you've ever seen one. But René Reiner, fantastic to get him on the podium. He'll be really pleased with that. And Steffi Halm, another podium. In the Goodyear Cup, it'll be another win for Lucas Hahn over recently crowned champion Shane Brereton and Jamie Anderson, stablemate of Sascha Lenz, who we see here. Now, I can't tell you what they're saying in German, which is something I need to learn for next year, but either way, they'll all be very happy with the result that they managed to get out of that one. It was a massive lead as well, wasn't it? Absolutely massive lead from Sascha Lenz. And he will be the final race winner in the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And I believe we will go down to Christina now, as you see her there, ready to go with Sascha Lenz.
We are ready to go. Also das war ja nochmal ein Rennen. Herzlichen Glückwunsch. Das letzte Rennen gewonnen dieser Saison. Ja. Natürlich vorher abgebrochen. Wie ist es trotzdem für dich jetzt hier als Sieger zu stehen? Of course, this race was red flagged, but how is it to be standing here as the winner from this race?
Ja, ich bin natürlich mega happy. Ich bin dankbar für mein Team, für die ganzen Sponsoren. Ja, wir haben das erste Rennen gewonnen, damals in Ungarn, und haben jetzt auch das letzte Rennen hier in Misano gewonnen. Das ist einfach ein unglaubliches Gefühl und freue mich so dermaßen für das Team, auch für die Mannschaft und auch für unsere Sponsoren. Vielen Dank und ja, bin happy.
Absolutely. So he's quite happy. He says huge thanks to all the sponsors and all the team, of course. It was a great team effort. He said we won the first race here at the Hungaroring and we are about to finish the season with a winner, of course. Jetzt ist natürlich klar, dass alle Dämme brechen werden. Of course, there will be no official things to do right now. Nach dieser ganzen Saison. Wie war es überhaupt für euch als Fahrer, nachdem die letzte Saison ja auch abgesagt worden ist oder verkürzt worden ist, in diese Saison zu gehen, die jetzt komplett durchzustehen? Let's remember this, last season was cancelled, shortened due to pandemic and now finally everyone is able to celebrate. How is it?
Ja, war für uns natürlich, hat Corona ja ziemlich schwer gewesen, muss sagen. Ja. Die Sponsoren sind alle bei uns geblieben. Der ein oder andere hat uns sogar noch geholfen. Ja, ich bin natürlich mega dankbar und bin auch mega erleichtert. So langsam kommt das auch, dass wir Vize-Europameister geworden sind und bin natürlich mega happy.
So you said right now I'm really realizing it. So it's huge thanks to all the sponsors because they helped during this tough time during the pandemic, and right now he starts to realize that he's the vice champion of Europe. Of course, we won't forget that. We just waited for the final results, but of course, this is a massive congratulations from us to you then. How are you going to celebrate with the team? Wie geht's heute mit der Feier weiter mit dem Team?
Ja, das bleibt unter uns, wie wir heute Abend feiern werden. Aber nein. Ja, wir haben am Anfang vom Jahr gesagt, wenn wir einen Glaspokal heute Abend, also bei der Siegerehrung holen, dann haben wir unser Ziel erreicht. Das ist natürlich der zweite Platz, das ist natürlich mega. Und wir werden es auch ausgiebig feiern. Und morgen, also am Dienstag geht es nach Hause und ab Mittwoch beginnt 2020 für uns.
Okay, alles klar. Danke dir. Gute Party. Also, he said, yeah, it stays between us how we're going to party. I think there might be some drinks involved. I'm not sure. But of course, he was really, really happy so that they could finish second this year. So Sascha Lenz. And he said, if we're going to lift up one of those glassy trophies at the evening, we would be so happy. And I'm sure they will.
Yeah, it's almost party time for all of the drivers and teams and everyone here involved in the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. There is no rest for the wicked, it seems, as we will all be heading over for the presentation and the awards and the end of season dinner this evening, just down the road here in Italy. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful event. And for a hard day's work, I'm sure a lot of these drivers and teams will really need it, to be fair. And we go back to Christina very quickly for another interview.
Yes, we want to talk to Rini Rainer because it's your first podium this season. Congratulations. And finally.
Yeah, finally, yes. It was a really difficult season for us, you know, and I don't know, a lot of problems, technical problems and bad luck and everything come together. And yeah, almost every weekend was something, you know, not so nice, not so good. And yeah, you know, if you was one time faster and I was already on the third place in the championship 2016 and then you are only on the 12th place, it's not so easy, you know, and all the time you start to come back and fight again, and then happen something again. And so it was not an easy season, but a happy end. So with the second place in the last race, it's really good for us and for the whole team. I can only say thank you to everybody.
Sounds great, and I feel that pressure comes down right now. So it's just emotion right now running through your veins.
Yeah, if that story ends good, then it's always perfect. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the podium, René Reinert. So he will going upstairs right now onto the podium, and our cameraman Sean needs to go over there. So Chaz, it's your turn right now.
Thank you very much, Christina. And we will confirm now the final result of the season. It's an all-German podium. Sascha Lenz, René Reinert and Steffi Halm. An MAN and 2 Ivecos on the top 3 steps. Just ahead of Antonio Albertetti, though, was Steffi Halm. Jochen Hahn finishes 5th, just ahead of Norbert Kisch after a great battle for those 2 real superstars of the championship. 5th, 6th and 7th have 10 titles between them. Adam Lachko in 7th ahead of Lucas Hahn after a fantastic weekend for him. Another win in the Goodyear Cup. Jamie Anderson is classified in 9th, with Stefan Faas classified in 10th place. Shane Brereton is classified 11th, with Alia Kolok and Andre Kurzim rounding out our finishers. So some interesting changes there to the results as we saw them finish the lap prior. Shane Brereton, unfortunately, losing out to Jamie Anderson there, but Jamie second in the Goodyear Cup. He'll be really pleased with how that ended up. We'll have to keep our eye on whether Alia's truck has dumped any sort of fluids down on the circuit here. It looks like there's some sort of track behind them as they move. But we move quickly on to the podium. And it's 3rd place overall for one of the real superstars of our championship, Steffi Halm. One of the finest female racers in the world. Incredible pace, determination, and a fantastic fighting spirit. Steffi is one of the real shining lights in this series, a true stalwart of the championship. 2nd place to René Reinert, his 1st podium in the championship. And a well-deserved one as well. You could argue that the fights all happened behind him, but at the end of the day, he still needs to put the pace in and complete the race. And your overall race winner for the 4th time this year, Sascha Lenz. It means a lot to Sascha, as you saw there at the end with his interview with Christina. Tears of joy for Sascha. Very well done indeed. And a lot of adrenaline going through that right arm, isn't there? Looks like Steffi's brought a collection of caps with her for this one. Holds the trophy high. And René Reinert will do the same. Another Iveco driver on the podium. And then, of course, more silverware for Sascha Lenz. Brilliant stuff.
features all together. Please, can you just climb the main same step of the podium all together, really close to each other, please. Also, you can just climb on, Steffi. Really close to Sasha, okay, all together. Looking on the left side, the features. You can change your caps. You want to just wear your own cap of your own team for the second features.
I love this procedure where they change the caps and so on. Steffi's got a few to choose from down there on the podium by the look of it.
Picking up the trophies, like before.
And just to confirm, Shane Brayton was given a 10-second penalty. It was him that made the contact with Stefan Faas after an unsafe rejoin. Spraying of the champagne for the final time this season. Sasha Lenz absolutely soaked by Steffi Halm. She got him good there. René Reiner drenched as well. And a very, very well done to all three of them. In just a second, we will bring you the Goodyear Cup Podium.
Congediamo così il vincitore Sasha Lenz di questo appuntamento. Salutiamo René Reiner e Stefanie Halm. Bene. Comincia.
So they vacate the podium. Some new trophies are brought out. And this will be our last podium of the year. It's been a real emotional roller coaster for everyone involved here, not just the drivers and teams, but for us involved as well. And the broadcasts have been absolutely phenomenal. And I'm sure I'll get sentimental again in just a moment. But for now, the Goodyear Cup Podium is about to be presented. Stefan Faas, after that big incident earlier on, ends up still getting on the Goodyear podium. He will be pleased to be up there after the damage his truck received. Second place, another strong comeback after a tough day and a tough weekend at the office. Jamie Anderson, second place in Goodyear Cup. And it's another Goodyear Cup win today to round out what's been, let's face it, I know I've sounded biased, an incredible weekend for young Lucas Hahn. Awesome reception for Lucas Hahn as he steps up onto the podium. And the guys will be presented with their silverware in just a memento. Some of them are reminded to lift the trophy still. Like I said, it's a process I'm not familiar with. I've not seen this one before. Obviously in COVID times, everyone doing things differently. Jamie Anderson lifts his trophy high, and here's the reaction from Lucas Hahn. Watch this. And now we know that Jochen Hahn is good with a bottle of champagne, and Lucas was good with it earlier on. Apologies for briefly speaking over the anthem there, but I was going to say, as we've seen, these guys are good with their champagne. They'll pose for some photos now. And Lucas Hahn, I'm sure, is going to drench at least one of these guys right now, and maybe get drenched himself after what's been an awesome weekend for him. Here we go. Who's going to be fastest to the bottle? Well, Jamie Anderson for sure. And there you go. That's to be expected for young Lucas Hahn. Brilliant camaraderie and entertainment by these guys. Soaking our cameraman as well. Awesome stuff. Really, really well deserved, Lucas. Well, that's our last podium of the season, everybody, but we think it's just about time to have a look at some of our best moments from this incredible 2021 campaign. So there you go, that's how the season shaped out, and this is how the standings finished. Norbert Kish is overall champion, Sascha Lenz claims second in the standings, with Adam Lachko in third position. Jochen Hahn beats Alberthetti to fourth place, a great scrap between those two all season. Steffi Halm ends up sixth ahead of Andre Kurzim, who manages to beat Teo Calve to the line. In the overall standings, Teo actually is ahead of Shane Brereton, but Shane is the Goodyear Cup champion for 2021. René Reiner finishes the season on 42 points in 10th position. But that is all from me this season. Chaz Draycott here in the commentary box. I've done a lot of it remotely. I've been here on site at Misano, and I just want to say it has been an absolutely wonderful year with this championship. It's really opened my eyes to truck racing, and it's really opened my eyes to how production should be done. The guys behind the scenes here do an incredible job, and I would like to thank all of them and everyone in the paddock for being so supportive and welcoming of me and my ventures. It's only my second year in commentary in the real world, as I call it, after coming from esports, and it's been a true joy. But for now, everybody, enjoy the final words and maybe a potential interview from Christina, as we all know that I like to get it mixed up whether there is or not. Either way, this is Chaz Draycott signing out, and I will hopefully see you all next year. Ciao.
Yeah, welcome to the real world, Chess Records. Thanks a lot. You did a phenomenal job. Thank you very much. And also our second commentator, Joachim Ebert. Salute again. So this is Stefan Faas. He was on the podium today, but I thought you might even not finish the race because he got spun round by Shane Brereton. A massive crash it was. And what did you check afterwards?
Ja, also wir sind in die Kurve rein, wir waren alle schön zusammen und haben eigentlich auch gut gekämpft hinten. Ich bin immer weiter dran gekommen und dann habe ich gesehen, dass der Shane weit nach außen getragen wurde und habe gesehen, dass ich viel schneller und die bessere Linie hatte. Bin dann innen reingefahren, war auch fast vorbei und dann kam er von der Seite und hat mich genau in der Mitte vom Auto getroffen und hat mich um sein Auto quasi rumgedreht. Dann hat es mich zweimal gedreht. Ich wusste nicht, ob ich jetzt gleich einschlage, weil ich nicht gesehen habe, wo die Leitplanke ist. Habe dann sofort gecheckt, ob noch alles dran ist und alles funktioniert und konnte dann auch Gott sei Dank weiterfahren. Aber
Too viel für mich. I might translate if not forgetting anything, sorry. So he said we had a good start, they were quite in the middle alongside, but then there came the turn and he saw that Shane Brereton was quite on the outside and he said, I found a good line on the inside to pass by much quicker. But then suddenly Shane Brereton hit him from the side directly in the center of the truck and spun around 2 times. So he lost a bit of orientation, I might say, because he didn't know where maybe he crashed the barrier or not. And then he suddenly needed to check if all the systems were working. Sorry.
Dann habe ich einmal meine kompletten Systeme gecheckt und habe gesehen, es ist alles soweit in Ordnung und habe dann versucht, wieder Fahrt aufzunehmen. Bin dann angefahren, habe dann natürlich gemerkt, dass alle Reifen Bremsplatten hatten und es war dann sehr schwierig zu fahren, weil die Bremsplatten haben natürlich erstens sehr viel Unruhe in das Auto reingebracht und auch immer wenn man bremst, bleibt das Rad quasi an der gleichen Stelle wieder stehen. Und konnte dann wieder aufholen von hinten, bin dann an die Alia rangefahren und habe dann versucht, daran vorbeizukommen und bin dann auch quasi vorbeigekommen, habe mich schön sauber dran vorbeigebremst und habe dann auch ein gutes Überholmanöver meiner Meinung nach gemacht und bin dann quasi in der nächsten Kurve, kam sie dann von hinten und hat mich dann nochmal einmal hinten links verwischt, wieder genau auf die Achse, genau auf das Rad. Ich hatte dann noch einen Funkspruch von der Box, es wäre alles in Ordnung, ich soll auf jeden Fall weiterfahren und soll versuchen, die Position zu halten, weil der Shane unter Investigation war und dass ich einfach die Position halte, dass wir im Goodyear Cup vielleicht noch ein Podium einfahren können.
Und hast du dritter Platz? So he said, right now, then he was continuing. He checked all the system and they were running. And so he said, I might continue, might overtake a while. And then suddenly came a Lear College and hit it on the right side. Oh, and I forgot to mention that he said he got a problem then with his discs, the braking discs. They blocked every time in the same position as at the tires. So that was really complicated for him to keep the truck going. And then suddenly a Lear College ran into him, obviously. And then another bang on the axle. And so he got some information from the box saying, you might continue, just keep going. We need a Goodyear Cup place. Okay, der dritte Platz ist es jetzt geworden am Ende der Saison. Wie cool ist das denn?
Ja, ich habe sehr harte Schläge jetzt am Wochenende abbekommen. Deshalb bin ich im Moment noch ein bisschen zurückhaltend mit der Freude. Ja. Aber natürlich, ich meine, es war ein geiles Wochenende hier. Wir haben super Wetter gehabt, das erste Mal dieses Jahr, dass wir mal keinen Regen hatten. Und ja, es hat sehr viel Spaß gemacht. Und ich hoffe, wir können viel Informationen vom Setup und so weiter für das nächste Jahr mit rübernehmen, dass wir uns da einfach nochmal verbessern können.
Super, herzlichen Dank. Hoffe, die Freude kommt langsam an. So he said, yes, this is our third place from the Goodyear Cup, and finally he tries to realize everything and said, yes, because I got punched so hard this weekend, I might not be so euphoric as they should be. But I think that will come later on for Stefan Faas, because he's thinking all the punches through, of course, but then finally realizing, well, we had sunny conditions and we remembered us that on other racetracks we had also rainy situations. Yes, we had a lot of rain during this season. Speaking about the season, it comes to an end. So let's go around here and see what is going on a little bit. party at the marshals, of course, we can see. Thank you very much for watching us. This was race 4 here at Misano World Circuit. It's been a pleasure hosting for the FIA ETRC, and it's been a pleasure that you all tuned in for us, joining us on our live streams on YouTube or Facebook. So I hope to see you next season. That was it from us. Thanks to all the teams. Thanks to the mechanics, the drivers, and of course the team behind the camera. A salute from me as well. So please tune in next year. That was it from Misano, and I say bye-bye.